Hello.
Absolute shit show. What's happening?
Oh, hang on. Wait,
Oh.
it's just waiting to get connected to my headphones now. Ryan's
Right.
cans. There we go.
Ryan's
We're
cat.
all done.
We'll try.
Yeah.
We'll try that again.
Hmm.
Seeing as how we fucked it, because as I sat,
Yeah.
I was sitting in what I thought was a comfortable position, and then as you answered, I realised my head was chopped off. Oh fucking! I swear to God, if I fucking have to flip the flip screen on my Sony one more time, I've been going back and forth between the table and flipping the screen. Let's try that one more time. Ring ring. Ring ring, phone ringing for the first time. Now you answer.
Hello. How are you?
Hi,
Is that
dude.
Dyllon Osborne?
It actually is Dyllon Osborne.
I'm just quietly waiting for a podcast to start while everything slowly runs out of battery.
Oh yeah, I'm quite similar.
Was it 43% on the camera?
That's all
Don't
right,
know what
that's
on the
enough.
monitor. At least the Mac's plugged in. That's never running out of battery.
That's okay. I still haven't worked out where my light situation is, so I've got a makeshift light situation today. Anyway, how are you? Good.
Oh, all right. Yeah, all right. Just been on set all day,
Have you?
taking pictures of bake bars, like these little chocolate bar thingies. It's ridiculous.
You were taking
But,
photos.
No, that's not true at all. Actually, I was taking videos.
It's taking photos, but it's shooting video, isn't it? You can't
I was
take video
shooting-
or shoot. I mean, you can shoot photos, I guess, but you
I
can't.
think you shoot photos. I can take videos.
You,
Did you take a video of that?
would you say that?
I think your dad would.
Yeah, he probably would. Yeah.
Did you take a video?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway,
that
folks.
doesn't even. Why does your dad sound like Jimmy Savile? Jesus Christ.
Anyway,
Oh my
folks.
Right, moving on.
How's it going? Welcome back to the Over and Out show, where two guys do some stuff on the internet and some people watch it. Yeah, seems
Yeah,
pretty fair.
that's a fair assumption.
It's 1:30
Assumption.
here on a Friday, so I'm having a beer.
Oh wow! It's 5 o'clock anywhere. Where is it? It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's at Dylan's house. Turns out.
Yeah. So anyway, look, this is I can't remember what episode this is, but look, this week's challenge was an interesting
Episode 4.
Episode 4. It was an interesting challenge this week. If you haven't
It
seen
was.
the videos, as we say every time, go and have a watch of those first. This makes no sense otherwise. But this week's topic, potato review. I mean, that was
It was
an
a good one.
open-ended. That was pretty open in what we could do with that. So I was quite
Yeah.
impressed where we went. If you've seen it and commented on the videos, thanks very much. Full disclosure at the beginning, mine was an hour late.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah,
though.
it was.
It's okay. But
It's okay.
do you know
But
what?
don't do it again.
Do you know what
Don't do
did-
it again.
Do you know what didn't matter though? That. I mean, I'll kick it off real briefly with this. I struggled this week with this because I felt like you felt the week before. I was
okay.
slammed for
Yeah.
time. Like I had such a busy week, and this week I work with one client and I spend the whole week doing stuff with them. But on top of that, I had other bits and pieces that needed done. Last week, some shit happened with my van. I lost an entire day. That entire day leaked into this week and screwed up a lot of stuff for me. I was supposed to be going camping today with a bunch of legacy friends, and
Okay.
for a couple of
That
days.
sounds like fun.
It would have been if it wasn't absolutely pissing it down. So in amongst all of that, the van had broken down and needed to be serviced, but the guy couldn't fix it till yesterday, which was episode live day. I had asked him to put his finger out, and he was great. Fair play to him, and he did. He pushed it forward for me, but he phoned me 15 minutes before the thing went live, and I was in the midst of like the upload process. I was at that waiting for the last export so I could upload, and he was like, "Can you come get your van right now?" So I was like, "Oh no!" So I had to go in the middle of all
Did
that.
you just say, "Excuse me, mate? Do you know who I am and do you know what I'm doing?
Yeah.
And do you know what it involves?"
Yeah, do you realize what's actually happening? Why are you fixing my van? You should be sitting at home waiting for this to upload.
Yeah.
So it was a very stressful little 45 minutes. But the good side
Yeah.
is I did get give him £1,100 to fix the van.
Oh, that's
So
good.
That was good.
Well,
Yeah,
that's money that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Well, in your bank account at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah, it was one of those situations as well. And he was like, he phones.
Do you think what he did was worth £1,100?
I thought he was being pretty fair. I mean,
Oh, okay.
do I think any vehicle's worth anything? Yes and no. I know nothing about mechanical work stuff. You know me. Can fix a boiler, but when it comes to a car, I'm useless. So yeah, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard to judge that because he, like, when I actually look at the breakdown, I'm like, he's being very fair with everything. But VW T5, clutch went, it needed a clutch replaced, flywheel replaced, slave cylinder replaced. Plus I said, here, do you know what? While it's there, just give it a full service because it's going to need that later in the year anyway. So I thought, I always think, like, if you're going in for a big bit of work like that, you might as well just get them to service it because they're already there doing it.
I did that with our plumbers came around recently because there was that thing, when you try and fix a tap and then it just doesn't, like, you try and fix your car. Anyway, so yeah, we had the plumbers come around and it was like, oh yeah, this tap's buggered. Oh, and so is this one, and so is this one. And then they go, we can't even find parts for this one.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, great. So I went from, can you just fix these leaky taps, to about £500 worth of, let's just have new taps.
Oh, right.
And I thought, that's it. But then the shower's leaking and it drips. So you have to shut the door because at night it's like, was it Chinese water torture? Can you do that? Is that cultural appropriation of torture in a different country? I don't know.
Isn't that where it comes from? To be honest with you, I don't know what the fuck you can say anymore about
we're going
anything.
to dark territory.
The world, the world's got to the point where you can say fucking absolutely nothing to anyone about anything. So I'm just gonna go. I just try to ignore it all and just crack on. Just be like, you know what? I'm just gonna do. As long as I know I don't mean any harm by anything, we're all right. So people will take offense, and that's not my problem. Wow. As long as you're not being
your problem.
As long as you're not proactively being a cock. Anyway, look, this is not what this web podcast is about at the moment.
Yeah,
so,
I think we lost a lot of people that wanted to hear the potato chat.
So the potato challenge was tough. So what I was getting at was I was so tight for time. I was honestly like, I had to film the studio part of my video at midnight on the Wednesday, and then I had this real simple plan of how to shoot the other shots that would fill the middle of it, but it was pissing down all day, so I couldn't do it. So I had to just make what is the word? Get
it done.
Yeah,
just keep going.
I had to just keep going. So I had to do it at home, and I wasn't really happy with the shots, but they worked. Katie filmed one of them for me, which was kind of.
I love it when you bring the kids in.
Yeah, hold that camera.
Katie, can you do this like Zoom?
Yeah.
Yes,
she's asking me, and then in the middle of all of it, Pamela starts arguing with me. Did you use my baked potato? I was like, no, that's my potato from the video, the potato video. And she was like, that is my baked potato. Then we got into an actual serious argument about, and I was like, this is the potato from the bag of potatoes that I got for the video. This is not your fucking potato. She was like, it looks like my baked potato.
Do you know what's really funny is the night before I shot all mine. I think I was meant to shoot it on the Wednesday, and I think on the Tuesday night I said, Yasmin, have we got any baked potatoes? She was like, yeah, but we're going to eat them tonight. And I was like, I kind of need one for like for the video I'm doing. At which point she just looked at me and went, what? And then an argument ensued about when and what day we should have baked potato, because then she didn't want to cook the baked potato on the Tuesday night because I needed it for the next day.
Yeah.
But then she got into a big tiz about what was she going to eat and cook that night on Tuesday. I mean, it was just middle class warfare.
Like,
I know.
Seriously, it's probably like a real fancy baked potato as well.
Well, actually, no. When we did eat, it was just cheese. Baked beans, bit of salad.
Right, okay, moving on from what we had for lunch, which is a new segment. Show. What has this podcast become? Not a podcast, that's what it is. It's a fucking show. Welcome to the show. So,
is it worth it though?
Is it worth it? Anyway, look. So the two of us went down a very very different routes, and in a nutshell, my route, if you're listening to this and you haven't seen the podcast, the shows, right? Who even are you? But
yeah,
I did what I thought was a more abstract version of what I thought you would do. I honestly thought you would go straight down the route of shooting really, wait for it, cinematic B-roll.
Oh wow!
Of the potato, and I said the words to Pamela.
But that's the biggest irony, isn't it?
I know.
That I shot no wanky B-roll for mine, and you did a bit of yours.
Well, I said to Pamela, "Look, Ryan's going to put loads of wanky B-roll into this. I reckon he's going to shoot this, and light this perfectly." So, I said, "I'm not going to compete with him on that. Like, there's no way." So, I'm going to have to do something a little bit above and beyond. So I was like, what I'm going to do is push my entire thing about reviewing a potato for like ridiculous uses that you would never use a potato for. So it would look like a camera review, but it would be nothing to do with cameras. You talk about photo and video, and I would use it for maybe leaning a camera against. But I honestly thought I was going abstract. And then when I saw your video, I was like, holy crap. He has just got, where did that come from? Like, that was, because mine actually looked really tame. My entire video was based on all camera reviews that I see in studio setups, and
but
I kind of just
that's what I loved about yours though, was the attention to detail throughout it. Like if you watch camera reviews on the regular,
yeah,
you know who you are. I thought it was like perfect.
I appreciate
because
it.
It was like this is everything. This is everything I'd want from a potato review.
I was thinking about getting more in depth into the actual, but I had so little time. Like I literally shot that main studio bit in an hour at night, and I shot the next bits in 45 minutes, and it took me like.
Do you know what's really annoying as well is that when I saw your video was 9 minutes long, I was like, how the fuck is he gonna like drag this out for 9 minutes?
Yeah,
9 minutes. And then you start going through it, you start doing all these examples. I'm like, can you just open the fucking box? I need to see what the new potato looks like. It's like, and I didn't. Well, normally, on a normal camera review, I would have scrolled to the end.
Yeah.
You know, just show me. I just need to see what it is. But obviously with yours, because we're, you know, reviewing the review.
Yeah, reviewing the review. Yeah, I'm glad that worked, because I don't think that actually wasn't a conscious thing, but it did turn out to be like holding back to reveal the upgraded potato. So I basically started with an old potato, if you're listening again, and I talk all about the current potato I'm using and smaller options like Potato Mini. But
which I need.
Which
to
you
give
need
me one
now.
of those.
Yeah. But
I need 2 of them.
Holding back on the reveal of the upgraded potato was not it was just a byproduct of the way I told the story. But loads of people actually some people messaged me going, I loved how you held back, and like you've just said it there again, and that was, I'll be honest, that was just a bit of luck. That was just that wasn't a conscious thing to hold back on that, but it just was the way it went. And I can't take credit for the punchline at the end, because that was in fact Pamela's idea.
Well, there we go.
Which she said to me before.
Nothing on the internet is real.
It is not. But look, I went along that route. I looked at I just took inspiration from all the people I know that do camera reviews. You know, swishy B-roll, light in their studio with colored gels and all of that.
Propped up by potatoes.
That was one thing that I was internally killing myself laughing at. Was the whole way through the studio scene is there's one light in the background that is sitting on 3 potatoes. Do you know how long it took to get to sit on 3 potatoes? Very long. It kept falling off. And then when I went to remove the potatoes at the end to show you, I had to manually knock the light over. But noticed that decision to knock the light over happened immediately as I lifted the last potato. It suddenly went through my head. Like, honestly, really quickly it went through my head. If I pull these potatoes out, the light can't just stand on its own. Otherwise, the potatoes have no purpose. So as I lifted the last potato, I just shouldered the light with my arm, with my side, and just went, oh, if that doesn't break, and just knocked it down. Didn't plan where it just landed on something. And then it was like, well, fuck.
I did notice that. I was like, hey, he pushed it over. And I thought, in my head, I could see in your facial reaction of like, did I just break that?
Yeah, I was like, fuck, I hope that's okay. But it was fine, and it worked a treat. So I thought I was doing that really abstract. And then just like when I was sitting on the YouTubes doing the upload process, as I went to hit upload, obviously it brings up the little upload screen, and it like knocks out the background. But as I did that, YouTube had refreshed the page, and all I saw was your thumbnail. And it was just you in a fucking Hawaiian shirt with a wicker hat, standing in your kitchen, looking like a BBC Good Food TV show. And for a second or two, I just assumed that's what it was. And I hit upload. I saw it pop up on my periphery, and I was like, why is that in my newsfeed? And then I looked, and it was your face as I was hitting upload, and I just went, oh, fuck. What has he done? And then your video was... Take us through the thought process about, like, give some context to listeners of the podcast who haven't bothered their whole to go and watch the video. Give us a quick
Oh my god.
20-second breakdown. What's the video about?
Basically, I wanted to do make a video like it says, like a cooking show. But the whole idea was that initially, which doesn't really show up in the video that much, is that basically I wanted to you grab anything in your garden, like it's just rubbish, and it could be anything like rotting tomatoes, an old sock, half a shoe, fox crap, whatever. And you have to take anything like that and you bring it into the kitchen and you just make, like, you review it and then you make food with it. Like, what can you do with this kind of thing? Which is like totally surreal in itself, because it's just ridiculous. So obviously the thing I found was potato. Now my initial idea was I wanted to find it, and then it was kind of half cut open because it had been thrown in my garden and someone had hidden cocaine in it. So like there was a little plastic baggie in it.
In the potato?
In the potato, yeah.
Right.
And funnily enough, I thought that might be a bit far-fetched.
Yeah. How would you have done that, though? Drilled into the potato from the bottom?
Well, see, that was the problem, because then the potato I actually got wasn't as big as I thought it was going to be. So I didn't really have a chance, and I thought, well, I could use two and then cut into it. And then the one Yasmin gave me had all those sprouts on. Yeah. And I thought, fuck it, I'll just use the sprouts, because I Googled potato, right? I Googled the potato I had. I Googled like where it came from.
So did you know the name of the potato before you Googled it, or did you have to Google what potato it is?
No, it came in a bag and it was called a Vivaldi potato. Then I Googled it and like got all the information of why it's called it, blah, blah, which you see in the video. Yeah. And
so
then
that was all
those
true.
Sprouts. Yeah, that's all true.
Okay.
And then so those sprouts, which is the gloccolco, I've forgotten the word now. Yeah, which I got the word right as well, which I was amazed by. They're actually toxic to humans. Like, you shouldn't eat them. I don't think you die, but you just might get a bit ill. Yeah. And
but
so I thought, that's perfect.
Just committed and ate it?
No. That's another trick shot there. I ripped it off, but then I actually ate some like seeds that Yasmin had, like nut seeds. So you can just about hear the crunch, and they kind of look the same as the sprouts. But I didn't actually eat the sprouts. I was stupid. Remember, nothing on the internet's real. And then that was the vehicle to get to the next part. Which actually, I'll be honest, that came to me in the last 20 minutes of shooting. Yeah.
If you've watched Ryan's video, you'll know what happens. And I was watching it going, this is very good. Like, I thought the way you'd shot it and lit it and everything, like the exposure, and this time we're going real technical, but the way you'd exposed it was great, because you could still see the garden, you could still see the inside. It was very neutral. It looked like Saturday morning kitchen or Sunday brunch or something like that.
That's what you get when you shoot S-Cinetone.
Right.
And shove a lump and then put a donk on it.
Right. Okay.
That's what I did.
So the donk's doing.
Actually,
let the donk.
No, it's just that. Actually, no. The only donk is when you go to the trip out dream sequence, which I noticed the donk actually starts too late.
I didn't even notice. Yeah. Let the donk do the work. Why don't we have that as another T-shirt?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's good.
Do the work.
That's good.
Because I saw that, and when I was watching it, up until that bit, I was like, "This is very good." Like, and I was actually quite interested. I thought you were gonna go into it and cut the potato up and do something. And my honest reaction, because a lot of what we're doing is we watch this once, and that's what we're based on. So my honest reaction when you first went, "Let's cut into this," or whatever it was, I thought, are you gonna just go straight into food? I thought you'd do something a bit more with the potato before you chop it up. Like that, and then, well, what happened? Because where did that come from? The twist.
Well, I don't know, because initially I wanted to actually cook the potato and then eat it, like you were saying. Yeah. And I was like, but then I'm going to have to get Yasmin to help me do it. And it's great cheese.
Can't
and I'm going
cook
to
a
have to
potato.
do this. And then it's going to take like an hour to cook it. And then I'm going to have to like put that fake cocaine on it and eat it. And that's when I'm going to trip out. And I was just going to pass out initially. But then I thought, you know what this needs? A talking potato.
The twist that every film needs.
Yeah. And so that was it. What I really struggled with, because I only decided this in the last 20 minutes, was like, well, what are we going to talk about? Yeah. So then I filmed a whole load of me asking questions. Okay. And then I filmed a whole load of answers that the potato did, then shoved a voice donk on it.
Yep. Yeah.
And then found some eyes. And I did actually initially want to animate it properly, but it turns out trying to learn how to animate in under an hour.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
I mean, this is a classic example of do what you can't.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just going to learn to animate.
I Googled googly eyes on YouTube, green screen on YouTube, downloaded them, and then just
Oh, that's how you did that.
yeah.
There you go. I thought you'd drawn the eyes. To be fair, lazy bastard.
No, but having that, but that's the whole. A lot. I've decided I just use a lot of a lot of. I've said it, story blocks now.
Yeah.
Because
Which
it's
allows
just
us to jump
easier.
into this week's sponsor of the video, Storyblocks.
Yeah. Thanks for doing nothing.
Thanks for
even
letting-
though I've used so much of
Yeah.
your videos.
Thanks for taking our
Don't-
money
yeah.
and giving us fuck all. Well, actually, they're
If
not
you
giving
were
us fuck all.
thinking-
They're giving you footage.
For me paying for it for a fee.
True.
But Storyblocks, if basically don't get Storyblocks until we get sponsored by Storyblocks, and then we can give the affiliate link.
I don't have Storyblocks, but
God.
legitimately after watching that video, I was like, I think I'm going to subscribe to Storyblocks. So if you're one of those
It's actually really
creators
handy
that-
for I get it for client work.
Yeah.
And that's what we go. This is what goes back to this. I wanted to treat my videos more like client videos.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought, fuck it. I need that shot. I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
There it is, done. And it just makes it easier, but then it's also a bit more creative because then you can kind of just get that initial shot that you need.
Well, yes, and to be honest, we'll come back to the talking potato in a second. Your intro to the thing was packed full of stock footage,
Storyblocks, yeah.
which was fucking great. The little line of text at the very beginning.
Oh yeah, I think there's only one person that knows
I
that,
saw it, but I
yeah.
didn't read it until you told me, and then I went back and read that frame. That was very
Yeah.
clever because it did look legit, but I had already gone through that thinking your thumbnail was legit. So, but the intro was great. The little cheesy smiles of you looking was very like there's a kid's like guy, Mr. Green Fingers or something. Jesus Christ. Anyway, like you look exactly like him. Something on CBBS, and
Well, there we go.
he does
Yeah.
gardening, Mr. Green, something like that, right? But I thought the intro was great. The talking potato, the eyes on a talking potato reminded me of I was about to say an Instagrammer, but he's not. He's an illustrator, and he's really good from Australia.
I know who it is.
Called Sam Cotton. You seen him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Animates
I love the stuff.
inanimate objects.
Yeah, it's
Reminded me
brilliant.
of that. Kind of makes me think, wouldn't it be cool in something like that to just give him a shout and go, I have an idea, do you want to collab? So, Sam,
Yeah,
if you're
I had
listening
an
to this,
hour, Sam,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he's like 12 hours ahead in Australia,
True.
currently locked down,
planning.
handcuffed by police. Probably.
Exactly, with nothing better to do than animate potatoes. So,
Yeah. Totally.
but yeah, I thought that like when that hit that bit and you had that conversation with the potato, first off, when the potato interrupted you, I cackled. Like I was actually laughing the entire time through that whole scene, but laughed quite loud when that potato interrupted you with like just the word apocalypse. Because you were just like chatting away normally to it. It was completely
Yeah.
mental. I thought the ending with Yasmin popping in was absolutely fantastic. I thought it was great, and I was a bit fucked off actually at the fact that I watched it and I was like, this isn't a competition, but if it was, he'd have fucking trumped it here because it was fucking it was great. I loved it, and it made me think that mine was a bit lazy. I was a bit annoyed because I
don't
thought
think
mine
yours was
I thought
lazy.
mine was wacky, and it wasn't. And I pride myself normally on doing wacky stuff, and it wasn't
Yeah.
wacky enough. Fuck's sake.
No, but I don't know. It's a very, what's the word? Like spontaneous and visceral experience making a video like that. Because and we were talking about this earlier. I think one of the interesting things is I think if we were given more time to make these videos, they probably wouldn't be as funny or as good.
Yeah.
Because we're making decisions like you're shooting that at 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I'm changing my whole like middle to end of the video, like with 20 minutes left to shoot.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's what's going on right there. And I think that's what a lot of people who make videos on the internet don't, because it's for your own thing or you're doing your own creative thing. They don't have that sort of time schedule that you have when you have client work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's that old thing of like you turn up and you're like, well, we've got a whole day to shoot this. Yeah, no, sorry, Dave says you can't have the room. Oh, and Dave's not turning up. And by the way, you're shooting in this box room with no light. And you're like, oh, okay, now I've got an hour to shoot this with no lights.
Yeah.
How do I make this better?
Yeah.
And I think applying that to making these videos is actually really cool because it just makes you have to like think in a different way and just go, fuck it, it's going up. That's it, it's done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And which is kind of what you have to do with client work a lot of the time because there's a schedule. And they need it by then.
Yeah,
and
the thing is, like, and this is a large part of why Ryan and I started doing this. So whether you work in the industry or you're new to the industry or you have no interest in it at all, you just like watching and consuming stuff. As people that work full time doing work for other people, you are always given a brief and a we'll call it aspirational dream of what the client might want, but then when they throw reality, like you just said, in front of you, they throw all these barriers and restrictions in place. A large part of the job becomes you trying to problem solve on the spot. So we all go in going, I was filming yesterday trying to do a video while something was being delivered, like units were being delivered into the warehouse room that we were in, and we were going to the driver, can you give us 5 minutes to finish a piece to camera before you open that shutter and drive all that shit into the studio? And as I hit stop recording, the shutter went up and the truck came in and I had to move all my camera gear. And I couldn't go outside because it was pissing with rain. So there's all these things that happen, right, that make it restrictive. And we, working for clients and working for other people, and you get used to that, so you understand it, which I personally, I don't know about you, dude, but I always struggle sharing work that I've done because I'm never happy with it. But I understand the restrictions that affected certain things happening. Something happens and they go, you have absolutely no opportunity here, so you do the best you can in the situation, but then you put that video out. 95% of people love it. Other creative people are the only ones that will pick up on the faults or the mistakes that you made, but those people don't realize why something may have happened, why something was slightly off, or why a shot was shaky, or whatever that was. So I always struggle sharing that stuff. And then when you watch people who make videos on YouTube and it's like their job, so they're making a living from YouTube, the time and effort they're putting into their own videos on YouTube makes a lot of them absolutely like spectacular. Like you watch some of the stuff and you go, fucking hell, why don't my videos look like that? And then the reality comes in, it's like, well, because we don't make a living from this online. And so it's so I think the problem is you pair yourself against that level because you can achieve it, you're capable of doing that. But when it's your own video, you might do a little bit more to get it perfect. And I think like Ryan and I struggled putting stuff onto the likes of YouTube because we're looking at while the level on YouTube might be mega low because there's some serious shit on YouTube, the barrier for entry as a video creator, production person, professional, you put that barrier for entry is quite high when you see other stuff, and all that did was stop us from uploading and second guessing and questioning everything. So a large part of what we're trying to do here is go, look, our main limitation is time, because you have to produce a video and upload it by a time every week, and that's the main criteria that you have to meet. So everything else has to come second to that. So it's not about pushing it 2 days or not uploading, it's about uploading something regardless, well, not regardless, but kind of ignoring quality. Is that right to say?
Yeah, I think so. I think anything you and I do generally will be of a reasonable quality. I think that there's more pressure in the idea, really.
Yeah, and that's the thing, pushing the idea. It's more what we're trying to do here is more about us experimenting with ideas and techniques and ways of doing stuff rather than perfection.
That's the problem. And I think you said something. Well, because we know that when you look on the internet now, especially things like TikTok, as much as I do like a scroll through TikTok, but I feel that it's kind of like social media is falling into communism because it's like they go, here, this is funny. Now all of you copy it and do your own version of it. And I say do your own version, and that's really kind of like loose. It's loose sort of interpretation.
It's basically you just doing what they did in a different hat.
Yeah. And then, you're exactly in a different hat or a different suit, to a voiceover that's been done before. And I can see the value in that. It is funny. And then you watch some people and they do funny stuff with it, and it's great, but it's still like, here's an idea. Here's an idea. I'm just going to copy it directly in my own way, or I'm going to try doing something different with it. Yeah. But it's still from like a seed of the same, like, this is what you have. This is what you're allowed to use. Yeah. Right. And I think that's very easy because then TikTok, the algorithm takes off, and then you've got much more chance. Where if someone just comes along and, a couple of idiots just make couple of potato videos, no one really cares because you know what the algorithm says, potatoes don't matter.
Yeah. Exactly.
And but that's what I think is really good. And I mean, I've been seeing very recently on the internet, like I think they're recognizing that we're all making the same shit.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but I think that making the same shit is driven by algorithm, which is driven by how many people watch your video.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of people, the scary thing to do, and this might sound a bit arrogant now, is to do what we're doing, which is going, actually, we're going to do what the fuck we want with zero, like,
fucks given.
to not worry, for zero fucks given. Because if no one watches our potato videos, I don't really care, because the whole goal was for us to talk about it, us to come up with the idea, for me to then put stuff in it to make you laugh, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, that's enough.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very scary thing to do if a lot of what you do online requires likes, requires views, requires the validation of other people.
Yeah.
And if you're doing these things and you're not getting that validation, you're like, well, what's the point?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that can put you in a very, very dangerous territory of like, well, I need to do stuff for other people. And I think that's where it's all heading, and that's where it seems to be now. And then so everyone's just looking at everyone else's stuff going, well, I'm just going to copy that. And then you find that when you're a creator, you just swipe through and go, seeing it, seeing it.
And a good example of that is like the dance world on TikTok and Instagram. I've been uploading some stuff to TikTok, like that are the same stuff.
I haven't seen the dance stuff.
The same stuff that I put onto.
You jiggling about like a little jelly donut.
Not that. Excuse me.
Sorry, big jelly donut.
Yeah. Muscular
less
jelly
of the little.
donut. There's nothing little about me.
That hench jelly donut.
Oh my god. But like, I have put some stuff on TikTok. People say to me for ages, Dill, why don't you upload to TikTok? And I'm like, well, because most of TikTok is shit. And sorry, that, no offense to anyone who makes a living on TikTok, because I'm the same as you. I love a wee scroll on TikTok, and I laugh at Pamela's like, what the fuck are you watching? And I watch some bullshit on TikTok. But the problem with TikTok is I don't understand what a view is worth on TikTok. So like, because let me tell you how many videos I watch on TikTok every day, right? Thousands. Maybe not thousands, hundreds, right? Guess how many times I click on that person's page and go and follow their page and give them any attention? Zero. Never. It's worth, so as far as I'm concerned, a TikTok view is worth fuck all. And I don't think a real view is worth much more. I've got a video on Reels, 67,000 views, and I got like 4 followers.
Is that the ocean spray one?
Yeah, four followers from it. So as far as I'm concerned, that's worth nothing. Like fucking,
That's such a small percentage.
That's like, that's nothing, So the thing with that is, I'm not sure. I feel it's very throwaway. I don't know enough about it yet, so I don't want to get too in depth in it. But when you look at like the videos I've uploaded on TikTok and Reels recently, have just been my own ideas with whatever music I want, whatever sound I want. People watch them and people love them. The people that watch them, who follow me, who know me, who I chat to daily, love them. But they don't get pushed out because they don't fit into the algorithm. So
see, I think that's the ultimate problem. I think with the way social media is going now, is that, like if you're Will Smith, for example, you can go on any social media platform and you're not going to have any trouble at all, because people already know you as an established artist. Yeah. And I think, like for you, for example, because you were quite early adopter to Instagram, especially Instagram stories, you've built like an audience of over 10K on there, or what you on 11K or something? I don't know, whatever. Yeah. And there's enough people there who will then go and watch your content elsewhere. Yeah. Whereas if you're just starting out on TikTok, I mean, you're going to have a tough time unless you're a hot girl, doing miming stuff. Yeah. And I do, and to be quite honest, there's a lot of stuff that I see on there. It's like, is this just like an advert for your OnlyFans page? I know. I mean, because that's kind of what it feels like sometimes. Yeah. And it's just
TikTok does push into a lot of that sort of stuff, and it does. Yeah. And there are some horrendous accounts on TikTok and it's hard because you initially look at that as competition, but it's not, because you gotta look at what you're creating, and you're creating it for views and likes. You're creating it because you want to. So this, excuse me, I'm choking on my own phlegm.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Jinx, you owe me a cock.
I owe you a cock.
Yeah, a cock. A coke. Anyway,
a Coca-Cola.
A Coca-Cola. So what I was getting at there was there was before we started talking about cock.
Stupid.
I don't know. There was this saying. This has gone over a little bit, but it's worth it, because I think this bit's quite relevant. All of this. There was this saying that I'd read. Just keep on going. There was a saying I think I'd come up with, and we've talked about it last year, and I think this is the bit that sort of changed our mind. If you listen to this, think about this sentence for a minute, right? We are not built to handle the opinions of more than our tribe. And I think I want to say that was Tim Ferriss, in a Tim Ferriss book that I've read, that 4-Hour Work Week.
It sounds like that.
It does sound like that, you know, but that's such a really powerful sentence when you think about it, because we're not. We are built to, our tribe is normally about 30, 40 people, and we're built to take on the opinions. Then when you start to take on the worries and opinions of everybody else, it fucking gets overwhelming. And I think for me especially, I talk to everyone who engages with me on Instagram, and it's really cool because you meet loads of different people, some crazy, some not, but you get to meet loads of different people. But the problem is you start to take their opinions on board, and then you start to second guess everything you're thinking and question everything that you're trying to do. And you've got to just get to the point where you go, you know what, fuck this. Like, if you want to watch my stuff, I really appreciate that. And if you want to comment on it, that's great, and I love that. And if you have thoughts and opinions, that's cool. But they don't necessarily matter, because if I think about everyone's opinions, I'll create shit that's beige. What's that saying, that if you try to create something that everyone likes you,
if you try and please everyone,
something,
you end up pleasing no one.
Yeah. So Ryan and I got the point where, like, you know what, like, when we met, we've done this before, but basically we just wanted to, like, entertain each other, entertain our wives, entertain our family and friends. And if those videos are doing that, and the people that we engage with regularly, then these videos are doing the job. Because fucked if we're gonna try and impress the entire world, you know, because it's too big of a task, and it dilutes
the other thing
everything
as well. I think especially when you scroll through, there's so much content out there, there's so much stuff, and it is depressing when you just see the same thing over and over again, the same LUT, the same preset, the same, and you just kind of think, does anyone have an original thought? And I know it's a really hard thing to do these days, but I just think it just seems really sad that algorithmically and AI wise, that's what they're pushing us to do, to all be the same. Yeah. And I find that's really dangerous, and really dull and really scary. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of people that are going to be mentally scarred from that, because, you know, how many freaking mountains can you see that are graded like that? And like you said, you know, whenever you went to California, or I can't remember what it was, and you got there and you went, that doesn't look like that on the internet. You're like, well, that's great, isn't it? And, you know, I think you did a video about that, actually.
No. And now the world knows I'm gonna, so expect someone else to do it.
Oh, shit.
No, I do. Sorry. I am actually. There is a video I'm working on about that topic, being that, like, Instagram has created this world that the expectation is too high. And we'll go into it in the video, but no one watches the show anyway. So when I do
and we've deviated anyway from talking about our videos to social media. It's Yosemite. We promised we weren't going to do that.
No, but do you know what? When I was listening back to the episodes, because I do listen back to our episodes in the car, I think sometimes we've got to make sure he
listens to his side, he mutes mine.
Just fast forward button every time you speak. Like,
more me.
We went to Yosemite, and I'd seen so many people take absolutely stunning photographs of Yosemite. They had, like, camped out and all the shit. I'm going to get into it in this video, but effectively I got to Yosemite, opened the door, walked out and went, it's a bit shit looking, isn't it? Pamela was like, it's fucking Yosemite. And I was like, it's a mountain, and it's hazy as fuck. It's boring. And it's the thing is, it is absolutely outstanding. But because I've seen fucking people's photographs on Instagram graded to the hilt, and do you know what? It's hard, because I agree with some of the grading. Because sometimes you go to an area and you see a thing, and the way I edit my photos is to represent what I'd seen on the day. And sometimes you take a photograph and your camera doesn't really pull it out, and you're like, do you know what? I saw way more detail in the clouds, so you bring that back. I saw way more vibrant greens in the mountains, so you bring that back. Create an image that represents what you saw. But the problem was, I've seen so much of the shit, and people, like, adding in new skies and fucking putting eagles flying about, and some guys a fucking dragon, or whatever. Not a dragon obviously, but people just grading and photoshopping the shit out of photographs. When I eventually got to that location, I was like, this place is so mediocre. And it's like, how many times, like, I just feel like,
but you see, I wonder if you'd not seen any photos of Yosemite, you would have got there and you would have been like, wow. Yeah, because you'd not seen anything, you got no reference point.
Yeah. And we walked to the main viewpoint, and I expected to walk out, my head explode, and all I saw was just tourists taking selfies. And it's just like, and going, actually, do you know what I did? Do you know what I did?
You took a selfie?
Oh, no, I didn't. I took a photo. And I said to Pamela, that fucking tree's in the way. And she was like, what? And I said to her, there's a fucking tree sticking up in the middle of that that's ruining that bloody landscape shot. They should cut that tree down so we can get photographs.
Did you Photoshop it out?
No, I left it in. But it
good.
does ruin the photo. There's just this one... Well, there was. Some Instagrammer's probably going to cut that shit down. Not ruining that. Yeah, and it's like... It's just like... It's the same as... I mean, there's loads of places like all over the world. I know here, there's a lot of it. And it's very difficult. I think you just end up... Well, we digress. But basically, you know, make what you want to make. Share your own story. Have a bit of fun with it. Try to worry less about what everybody thinks of it, because some people will love your stuff, some people will hate it. That's life. Crack on.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. And with that, I'm on about 3% battery.
Oh fuck! Here, pick a bloody topic. Is it your turn?
I think it is. I've still got my bits of paper in front of me. Shall I just grab one of those?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
yeah, because I've got mine behind me. So,
Okay. I'm going to pick this one. What is this?
oh no,
A fine line.
is that it?
That's it. A fine
Fuck off.
line.
A fine line. Jesus Christ!
I don't even know where to start with that.
A fine line. Write that on my hand.
Yeah.
Fine. Anyway, look.
Better.
So, Jesus, who knows? Somehow.
Anyway, if you
we're
haven't
gonna...
seen our videos,
Yeah.
by the way, and you're still here, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But go and watch them now if you haven't seen
Where can I see them?
them. On the YouTubes. On my channel, on Dylan's channel. On
Yeah.
the YouTubes.
Go and watch the
Dylan's
videos.
channel, my channel.
And look, if you do watch them and you do like them, we would really appreciate if you share them, because like we've said before, it's really hard to get people to watch stuff. They see it and they go, potato, not interested. But actually, you never know.
It's very
Might be the best
interesting.
thing you've ever watched. Thanks to anyone who liked and watched and commented on the videos, or who follows the channel. Shout out to all y'all. And yeah, we're going to make a video about a fine line. Catch you in the next episode.
Apparently. See ya.
Later. You slap me a second?
Oh shit, yeah, I almost forgot that.